Wondering how to be the match between Tadej Pogacar on Jonas Vingegaard? Here's the answer. No doubt it was one of the best matches, the details of the fight were simply awesome, and the match was simply amazing. Why not look at it in detail? Hello friends, welcome back to Cycling News Live. Today, we are back here again with an interesting video. Here we are going to discuss the iconic battle between Tadej Pogacar on Jonas Vingegaard. So stick with the video and watch it till the end to know everything about it. Let us start with the video. The reigning monarch of the mountain ranges. On the legendary Champs-Elysees, a champion was crowned. Over the course of 3 weeks of incredible competition, Jonas Vingegaard developed from a brilliant young rider into a powerful leader in his own right. On Sunday, he won his first Tour de France crown, making him the first Dane ever to do so. The Danish rider, who had previously worked in a fish factory, was able to unseat the incumbent champion, Tadej Pogacar, by delivering unforgettable performances in the race's challenging mountain terrain. The 25-year-old Vingegaard, who was Pogacar's runner-up in his first Tour last year, excelled in the scorching heat that enveloped France this month and emerged victorious in a thrilling duel with Pogacar, the big favorite going into the race. Pogacar was the big favorite going into the race because he had won his first Tour. Sprinting ahead of Dylan Groenewegen and Alexander Kristoff, Jasper Philipsen was able to claim victory in the last stage of the Tour de France. The stage consisted of a mostly ceremonial ride through Paris to the Champs-Elysees. In the competition from the following year, Vingegaard served as a substitute for Tom Dumoulin on the Jumbo-Visma team. Vingegaard had a moment of clarity when he recognized that he might challenge for the overall championship after passing Pogacar in the renowned ascent of Mount Ventoux. Despite this, his Slovenian competitor was at the top of his game and essentially unreachable at this point in the competition. Later, Vingegaard was able to build on his victory by completing 2 incredible rides in the Alps and the Pyrenees. This allowed him to stand atop the podium and claim first place. However, since Vingegaard slowed down at the conclusion of the stage to celebrate with his teammates, he crossed the finish line long after Pogacar did. The official margin of victory for the overall competition was 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Geraint Thomas, who won the Tour de France in 2018, was in third place and 7 minutes 22 seconds behind the leader. At the beginning of the race in Copenhagen recently, the Jumbo-Visma team had 2 leaders, Vingegaard and Primož Roglič, who had previously won the Spanish Vuelta 3 times. On the 5th stage of the race, which was comprised of cobblestones, Roglič sustained a dislocated shoulder, which caused him to lose more than 2 minutes of time to Pogacar. As a result, Vingegaard is now in the position of being the single leader of the race. From that point on, Vingegaard more than lived up to the lofty expectations that were placed on him. He made his intentions apparent in the first large mountain stage up the Col du Granon to capture the yellow jersey from Pogacar, who slipped more than 2 minutes behind that day. This stage took place in Switzerland. Vingegaard maintained possession of the renowned tunic until the very conclusion of the race after he won it during a stage that had 3 very difficult alpine ascents. Vingegaard was able to answer to the unrelenting assaults that were made by Pogacar each and every day with the assistance of his other colleagues, among whom was the adaptable Wout van Aert. In addition to his victory in the overall competition, Vingegaard also took home the jersey awarded to the King of the Mountains. This was quite an accomplishment for a rider who hails from a nation in which the highest point is just around 170 meters above sea level. This year, it was abundantly evident that Vingegaard and Pogacar belonged to a category all by themselves. Their primary competitor, Thomas, was relegated to the role of a mere spectator in the battle for the lead. The key blow that Vingegaard dealt in the Pyrenees came when he won the 2nd stage of the competition at the Hautecam ski resort. There, the Dane reacted to a series of attacks from Pogacar and finally dropped the Slovenian in the last large mountain stage of this year's race. As a result, Dane increased his overall advantage to more than 3 minutes. Pogacar went down on the last rise around 4 kilometers and 2.5 miles from the finish line, rendering his chances of winning a 3rd straight title very impossible. Vingegaard was once again the most dominant competitor during the individual time trial, which allowed him to virtually clinch the championship despite the fact that he battled all the way to the finish. The competition between myself and Jonas for the yellow jersey has been quite special, Pogacar said. It's been a great feeling. I believe that the next 2 or 3 years are going to be filled with a lot of extremely fascinating opportunities for us. This year, Jonas has shown significant improvement over his previous performances. The light-framed Vingegaard is not necessarily as naturally talented as Pogacar, who has shown over the course of the previous several years that he is capable of winning Grand Tours as well as the most renowned one-day classics. Vingegaard has a lighter frame than Pogacar. Vingegaard seems to pick up new information really quickly. Before Vingegaard turned 16, he had not yet had the opportunity to experience his first ascension. His climbing abilities would not go undetected for very much longer. When he joined Jumbo-Visma in 2019, he had already established himself as one of the finest climbers in the world. This was due to the fact that he had previously achieved a new record on the Col de Rat when he was on a training camp in Spain with his former team, Colo Quick. The year before, when he was competing in his maiden tour, he shown suitable leadership characteristics after Roglic was eliminated from the competition. This past summer, he followed it up with a vicious ride to victory in the Tour de France. He was victorious. The ever-increasing competitiveness between Pogacar and Vingegaard has resulted in the creation of new racing scenarios, much to the delight of the spectators. These new racing conditions have the potential to provide some very exciting racing. Both of these competitors were backed by powerful squads that were able to keep a firm grasp on the competition, despite the fact that it was taking place in mountainous terrain. This was an essential component that serves as a defining characteristic of a powerful Ineos team that competed during the course of the preceding decade. But on multiple occasions, both Pogacar and Vingegaard were forced to depend only on themselves at high altitudes, forcing them to fight each other on equal terms. Pogacar's long-range attacks contributed not only to the intensity of the fight, but also generated a sense of nostalgia and romanticism among the participants. The UAE Emirates team, with a mean age of only 23 years old, has a bright and eventful future ahead of them. Vingegaard is the first Dane to win the Tour de France since Bjarne Riis in 1996, which was at the time in cycling when significant doping was a regular practice. Doping was rampant in the sport during the time of Vingegaard's victory, which was another factor that contributed to his success. After he retired from the sport of cycling in 2007, Riis came clean about his use of the blood-enhancing drug EPO between the years 1993 and 1998, notably during his triumph in the Tour de France. When Vingegaard was asked whether his squad could be trusted, he responded by saying that he and all of his colleagues are fully clean, every one of us. Not a single one of us is engaging in any kind of unlawful activity, he went on to say. I believe that the preparation that we put in every day is the reason for our success. We provide a new level of innovation to high-altitude camps. So, here we're done with this video. Let us know in the comment box what you all think about this video. Tell us who is your favorite player. Also, if you liked our work, then like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this and get a notification of our latest videos. Thank you so much for watching.